If you remember when we were heading for the World Cup, that was the Stars for Qatar promo. Your pace come out, monko performing. Then what came out of it? You brought us disgrace. Now in the disgrace, people are talking about defending what happened in Qatar. And that's how wicked some people are. Now, do you know their defense? One thing that they mentioned is that Belgium, almost the second ranked team in FIFA's rankings. They are out of the competition. Germany, they are 4-time champions of the World Cup. They are also out of the competition. Uruguay are 2-time champions of the World Cup. They are out, only in a film. And they are also saying that we have a young team and we were the league's ranked team before the World Cup. So based on that, when you are Black Stars next baby, when you are GF next baby, please, Munjai Sansim, no. Munjai Sani Manamokikano. Please. We have to be serious. Me tears here, be video be trend this share. Go for well, and no you can same later. But you see, in this Black Star setup that we have our concerns. You have your defense, but since it is the taxpayers' money that has been used to fund this team, we have to address certain stuffs in this team. You know why I'm saying this? Because we played the match on Friday, and then today we have to review it because Saturday the people talked about it, but today it has been the discussion on the streets of Kumasi, Accra, and all the other cities and towns as well. Our concerns are so huge. First of all, I think this team that we had, journalists did enough to lower the expectations of Ghanaians ahead of the tournament. We made people understand that yes, we have a team that has got players, some of the players playing in the top flight leagues, but based on team telepathy, based on team experience, so we lowered the expectations. But aside lowering the expectations, we have positives that we saw in the World Cup after 2 games. Am I confident that we can qualify to the next stage of the World Cup against a Uruguay team? Because one, heading into the last game of the group stages for Ghana against Uruguay, we just needed a point. Need a point. One, near they are qualified. 2, we had 20 minutes to overturn the game, even when we were 2-0 down. Because, why am I saying this? At that moment, Uruguay knew that South Korea were leading by 2-1 against Portugal. So that moment was the time that we, as Black Stars, had to turn things around because Nabano Mobomani, Uruguay for no, or Mobomani, leaving spaces behind. After the 2 goals almost shared, they were defending. But all of a sudden, they switched into full attacking gear. And that was the moment that we needed to take the chances to equalize and then qualify. 3, we had certain players in fine form before and during the competition. 1, Mohamed Kudus. 2, Mohamed Salisu. And we needed to build on that to try and then qualify. Now, when people are criticizing the team, they are fair to do that because, first of all, certain players on the pitch showed that they don't deserve to play, especially the last game, or they don't deserve to start games for us at this World Cup. 1, Baba Rahman. I don't want to talk about his quality, but stamina. Dear. So we footballer now like here. Oh, papa. If you don't have the stamina, you really suffer as a team. And that was the reason why we needed to be very clear with certain things that we were doing in this competition. Which, for me, I think that Yamwai on that score. We didn't help ourselves at all. Yamwai who cry. Baba Rahman starting ahead of Gideon Mensah was the first treacherous mistake of Otuado and his technical team against Uruguay. 2, the team's defense and the team's mentality. Last time I talked about how we conceded 2 goals in 2 minutes against Portugal, 2 goals in 3 minutes against South Korea. And look at the time, the space in between when we conceded the goals against Uruguay. And more to say there. But it is up to concentration, mentality, psyching the players. And surprisingly, we don't have a psychologist in the team. Coach psychologist, no. We have a professional psychologist, Yinibi. And then the senior players, Thomas Day Party. People are talking about he plays in a different system, he plays in a favorable system at us now. But Kudus Uba not the 10 players for Ayas, Edina Chiba When Mohamed Kudus was coming to this competition, did he bring 10 players from Ajax to come and help him play his usual football from or the bid in a chibayana. Certainly no. So that talk of and the system na it doesn't come here. Please. Thomas Day Party. This tournament. We're disappointing a lot of the people who believe that you are the key man alongside Mohamed Kudus for this tournament. And these are legitimate concerns. Otuado, another example. If we had Otuado at his finest, then no could be performing here. Because certain decisions on the pitch, our defensive organization, they are poor. Our mentality on the pitch against Uruguay, when we know that we needed a draw to qualify, his inexperience came to bear. So, people are right to condemn the team. But in all this, when we try defense be unfunctioning, more focus no on the team no. Yen building new team. When I return from this break, I'm going to talk about the way forward for our team and looking at the ages and certain positives on the team, which we can move on and then build a good team for the AFCON, which will be played in 2024. This on your radio Y1025 FM, still doing the Y Sports updates. And as I leave the studio, I will end with the way forward, I think, for the Black Stars of Ghana. I think we have a young squad. It has agreed here. We have a young squad. And looking at the ages of the players that we have, it is important that we build on these players rather than focus on the senior players. And two, we need a coach who will be 100% focused on our national team. Yeah, they were divided or another club and then he will come and then work. It's a FIFA game, pro game, baby. We need a 100% coach, someone who is focused, and a coach who will be experienced enough and will instill discipline in the team for a longer period. You say you could buy a team or camp now for the talk of all this discussion. No, we need to have a disciplined team and a coach who will be experienced enough to handle the kind of pressure that we had against Uruguay, the kind of pressure that we had against Portugal. For the South Korea one, it was to the brilliance of Mohamed Kudus. That was why we won that game. So for me, if you are reviewing the performance of the team, certain players like Baba Rahman, Otuado, Thomas Partey, Coach Otuado, Thomas Partey, did not perform well for the team. And then moving forward, we have a group of 20 to 25 years old players. Sales, Mohamed Kudus, Salisu, Kamal Sowa, Wambo matches, but Champions League, he plays regularly. So you see, Otuado Asama, Montiase, Namu defense. Namu yet Sergio Ramos, Marquinhos, Mojuma Wencheng. Let's move from that. Let's have a team that will be solid enough and have a coach that will be experienced enough and be ready to splash money on getting a good coach than rather splashing money on players who have failed us twice in 1 year. AFCON, Mufeli, World Cup, Masa Feli. $100,000 now, imagine a year. You see, you build a good team with young players who are determined to play and not focus on the money alone, but to play and also show discipline in camp. Yeah, issues of discipline, but moving forward, we might have something like that. So that is how I end today's show on the Y Sports Update. We meet tomorrow as we bring you more sports on this. The up next is the drive of your life. Enjoy the rest of the shows. Monday, and all you know is that you have to stay positive throughout the week. Then it's Ivan Opoku here. Bye-bye.